Hey there, welcome to Factually. I'm Adam Conover. Thrilled to have you on the show again. You know, as you're probably aware, my industry, television, has changed a lot over the past century. You know, a little over 20 years ago, there was no YouTube, there was no streaming, and there were no podcasts on streaming, definitely. HBO had made like 3 good shows ever, and critics were just beginning to declare a golden age of television. Meanwhile, most people were still binging those Friends reruns they had bought on DVD for hundreds of dollars. Remember that? You'd go over to a friend's house and they'd have shelves full of TV shows in little cardboard cases. I can just picture the cover of The Simpsons Volume 2 now, can't you? Now, one of my favorite shows back then in the heyday of basic cable, late at night, I loved getting stoned and watching The Soup. It was basically just a clip show with jokes like America's Funniest Home Videos before it. But instead of watching, dad fall into the pool, this show talked massive and hilarious shit on the rest of television, and specifically on the reality TV revolution that was sweeping across America. No Kardashian was spared. Every flavor of love was swished around and spat out for our amusement. You know, it was the kind of show you'd get home from a long day, you'd maybe smoke a little weed, crack a beer, and watch with your friends. It was casual, sharp, and even the crew seemed to be having a good time. You could tell because you could hear them laughing on the show. But this show would not have worked without its host, the actor and comedian Joel McHale. This dude defined an era of how to make jokes about TV right as TV was changing. I used to watch Joel and be like, this guy is so natural on TV. He was one of the people who influenced my own desire to be a television joke man, who showed me how it was done. But he did not finish there. After The Soup, McHale went from E! To NBC, where he starred as narcissistic former lawyer Jeff Winger on Community, one of the best sitcoms of its era, and also a show that really influenced my work. It wasn't until years later that I realized how much Community had influenced Adam Ruins Everything and the work I was doing on College Humor while it was coming out. And since then, McHale has just starred in more shows, acted in movies, and even hosted an occasional game show. And by the way, he is also, and I can attest to this, an incredibly nice person. We bumped into each other in LA a couple months back, and I said, you know what, I'd really love to come have you on the show and just hang out. So today, I'm so pleased that my guest is actor and comedian Joel McHale. I don't think there's a better person to talk to about how television and the entertainment industry has changed, especially as we are in another point of flux right now. Right now, Joel is starring in the 4th season of the show Animal Control on Fox. He's also doing a million other projects that we're going to get into. It's going to be a great time. Before we get into it, I want to remind you, if you want to support the show, head to patreon.com/Adam Conover. $5 a month gets you every episode of the show ad-free. And if you want to come see me on the road, well, hey, you can tell I'm a little bit hoarse. It's because I have been doing stand-up all across the country, blowing out my vocal cords. Right now, I'm taking a little bit of a rest, and pretty soon I'll be back out there ready to shout into a microphone for your amusement. Coming up soon, March 20th and 21st, I'll be in Hartford, Connecticut. April 2nd through 4th, I'll be in Sacramento, California. April 10th and 11th and 12th as well, I'll be in La Jolla, California. April 18th, I'm taping my new special at the Den Theater in Chicago, Illinois. I'd love to have you there. And then later in May, I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri. Head to adamconover.net for tickets and tour dates. I would love to have you. And now let's get to this week's interview with Joel McHale.
Nice to see you.
Joel, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
You look terrific.
You look great. I love those pants. Those are nice.
Yeah, I was doing a little paratrooping earlier, and I was shooting an MC Hammer video from 30 years ago. Yeah, I like a cargo pant. I feel like it gives me there's a little sense of danger and adventure.
Do you remember when we met? Do you remember the first time we chatted?
It wasn't at the Rufus Wainwright.
It was at the Rufus Wainwright concert.
That was the first time I ever met you?
That was the first time we ever met. I remember very distinctly because I went to the Rufus Wainwright concert. Me and my former partner, we bought tickets. We've always been Rufus Wainwright fans. Coming to LA. It's genius, incredible show, beautiful.
Yeah.
We're like blissing out. We go to the curb. We're like hanging out late. We like wait a long time to buy some vinyl. We go wait on the curb. And
Is that a code for drugs? Did you buy fentanyl?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what we call. Yeah.
All right. Just getting some vinyl.
Yeah, you get in your mid 40s, you get a real vinyl collection. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And we go out on the curb, and we're waiting for an Uber, and we look to the right, and who is at the curb? But the most noticeable man in America, Conan O'Brien.
Yep.
couple times in my life I've been in a room with Conan O'Brien, and it's like your head automatically turns towards him.
Yeah.
Everyone is looking at him.
Yep.
For some, it's like seeing a not even like a zoo animal is too condescending. It's I've never seen anybody like that. You're talking to him. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that is how I've walked down the streets of New York with Conan, and it does not matter who it is. They are recognizing him and walking up.
Yeah.
There will be people that are unhoused that will be jumping up. There will be coming out of the electronics store. Then there'll be somebody like in a coat and tails, and and he's way too nice to everybody.
He's really nice. He's so, you know what it is in addition to being ultra famous, he's so affable. It's almost like a Big Bird kind of thing where it's like somebody who you grew up with and you're like, he's like got a mascot quality.
Right. Not a human zoo, a Big Bird. So he's like a big puppet.
Yeah. Yes.
No, but that I think you're right that it occupies that space in that people's brain the same way that like a beloved like Sesame Street character would be. You just go, oh yes, you own a huge part of my brain, and it only is good. It's like a good part of my brain, and people,
It's really, I'm curious how that compares to like other people, because I feel like that's another level of getting recognized. I'm sure people recognize you out on the street, but
I do get recognized, but like walking down the street with Conan, I was like, oh, this is a whole other thing. Same thing with like Ken Jeong, where if you walk down the street with Ken, people are like, they're see, I would have thought with Conan it'd be the height, but Ken is not a tall guy. He's a little bit of a short guy. Ken is not very tall, but boy, people burst out crying when they see him.
And it almost makes it brave to walk around at all at that level. But we saw you guys like, oh, that's cool. Look who's at the show. And then we're waiting for our Uber, so I look away. And then out, like in my right ear, I hear Adam Conover. You have walked up to me and you've said hello.
Yes.
And I was like, did not expect this in a million years. I was like, oh, you're a very friendly guy, is what I got out of it.
Well, I'm a fan.
Thank you.
I literally pay into your Patreon.
Wait, like, you told me this.
I am a Patreon subscriber, and look for this show on Patreon. You gotta we're not just doing this for fucking charity, guys. You need to pay for things. Like, I get it. Everything's expensive, but people need to make money. Look at this. It's not Sam's just not fucking around here. It's not some college class he's taking. He's recording a real show and should be paid for goods and services.
This is like television at this point is what we're doing. People are watching this on their TV sets. And so this is the best possible pitch for my Patreon I could have ever possibly had.
Subscribe to the Patreon, guys. It's worth it.
Patreon.com/Adam Conover.
No ads. It's great. Except for this how do you keep your plants so healthy without any sunlight, Adam? Well, take it away. Miracle Grow Indoor is one of the most environmentally conscious and effective nutrients for your plants. Thank you.
That's what we got to do is we have to do plugs now. We got to read our own ads.
I like those because it takes me back to shows from the 50s.
Right.
And, which I always liked in-show ads. I thought were always much more engaging and funny. And then when Larry Sanders was on, he did that garden weasel thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so funny. And why don't they do all ads like
that?
This?
It's fun. Whenever I think of in-show ads, I always think of that episode. That's the pilot of the Larry Sanders Show, my favorite show of all time. And it's Larry as a fictional talk show host being made to do an in-show ad for a fictional product called the Garden Weasel. And he hates doing it. And so he has his sidekick Hank doing it, which is also so funny because the more I watch Larry Sanders, the more I'm like, this happens to me in Hollywood, the more so accurate it is. That's what Jimmy Kimmel has Guillermo do.
Yeah.
Like Guillermo does the in-show ads so that Jimmy doesn't have to.
Yeah. I remember him saying like, I'm going to grab my seven weasel. Like he was grabbing a golf club.
The whole episode is about them hating it. You like it.
Yeah. Well, them hating it makes me like it. Like that was such a good, I was like, oh, it was so funny because them not taking the copy seriously, but then it makes the product so much more effective.
Right.
We sold. And then
this is what we try to tell the advertisers. We're like, if you let us do a little bit of fuck you in the ad read,
Yeah,
Like,
if you make it your own.
the public
as they
likes it
say.
more.
Yes.
They feel like it's more honest because they're like, I'm hearing a real ad read from a real person who I know. Of course,
Yeah.
no one likes to read an ad. It's a job, unless you're Billy Mays or something like that. But
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. And we lost him too soon. And it should have been the Shamwow guy who died, but it was Billy.
What's going on with the Shamwow guy?
Nothing good.
Sam, can you look up Shamwow guy?
Look up his Wikipedia.
Whereas, in fact, I would like to also say that Adam and I will be hosting a show called Where's the Shamwow Guy?
Where's the Shamwow guy?
Sponsored by
Shamwow, probably.
California Car Covers, ironically. It's a real fuck you to Shamwow.
Helpful Honda days.
Yeah, find it. Is he alive?
Yeah, he's running for the Republican nomination, Texas 31st Congressional District.
Shamwow guy's running for Republican nomination,
right.
Texas 31st District.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I always knew it.
The 31st? Where is the 31st? Didn't he get beat up by a
Something happened,
sex
right?
worker while they were both on
Yes.
methamphetamine?
Yes. Yes. It's been a couple of years since I've read this Wikipedia, but it's like every 5 years or so I crack it open to, entertain myself. What happened to the Shamwow guy?
And then
Yeah.
I just like,
You'll be saying wow every time.
and then what's great about that Wikipedia is that there's people that are like, I want to know what the Shamwow guy's doing, and I'm going to find out and I'm going to update it.
It's actually even more than that because, I've edited Wikipedia in my spare time in the past.
Yeah.
The mentality is more, you're like, I'm one of the editors of the Shamwow guy page. And then anytime he's in the news, you're like, it is my duty to record his activities because I am I'm the watcher, like from Marvel Comics. It's like I observe and I record.
Yeah, it's journalism.
Yeah.
You're getting down to what's happening and you're reporting the facts.
It's real. You got to cite it.
Where's the 31st district? All right. So,
Yeah, like hill country kind of.
West
Oh,
Texas?
it's north of Austin, actually. It's just,
okay.
yeah, it's like the suburbs north of Austin. It looks like.
so
Got
it's fancy.
He's running on an anti-woke platform after Charlie Kirk's assassination.
He's running on an
All right. Okay.
Of course he is. He's running on Charlie Kirk died a year ago. Vote for me, the Shamwow guy. Shamwow guy will avenge.
I wonder if he's trying to incorporate Shamwow into the posters or the anyway.
Am
What's
I
his name?
insane? Yeah, what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Vince Offer.
Vince Offer. And did
Great
he
name.
do a series of sketch comedy movies?
He directed and appeared in the Underground comedy movie in 96.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see.
What's his
That was
most
during
recent movie?
Shamwow.
His most recent movie.
He has like a lawsuit. Oh boy.
This guy has a lot of trouble. Adrian Brody was shockingly in a really bad sketch comedy movie like 12 years ago. And I'm trying to remember if it was the Vince Offer one. People like to go down a rabbit hole in podcasts. This is
That
maybe a
wasn't
little
that,
too far.
Movie 47.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that everybody was.
Everybody was.
Where Hugh Jackman had the testicles hanging off his chin.
Right. Yes.
It was called Inappropriate Comedy. I think it was like Rob Schneider,
I think
Adrian Brody. Yeah.
He's this
Directed by Vince Offer.
Thank you. We did it.
Yeah, okay.
We did
Got
it.
to the
I'm
bottom
so
of
glad
it.
I dredged that up from the
Holy
depths of memory. Adrian Brody was in Shamwow Guy movie.
And
now
Rob
he runs
Schneider was, and Adrian. Wow. Good. What a cast.
great company.
Here's a. I think.
Can you believe he won for The Brutalist and not for that?
Wow. Rob Schneider's daughter.
What about her?
Do you know who she is? Mm-hmm. Elle King. X's and O's.
I didn't know.
Huge hit.
I don't know. I don't follow. I'm more of a classic country guy.
But you could
Emmylou
say she's a
Harris.
crossover.
Yeah.
But it was a gigantic #1 hit. And yeah. And they were like, that's Rob Schneider's daughter.
Anyway.
It's these little connections that we're making. Welcome to Little Connection. It's sponsored by Playmobil.
Do you
Your
do
kids-
a podcast? Do I not know this?
No, I did one with Ken Jeong
Mhm.
during the pandemic
Mhm.
about sort of like every day or every couple days we would do like an update on where the vaccine was and what was happening and what was the latest research because he's a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a terrible doctor, Ken Jeong. You heard me. And so we talk a lot about that and then have like Shaq on, and then we talked to Shaq, and it was great. It was great because it kept because Ken and I are such maniacs for work and keeping the hamster spinning in this little circle, in his little wheel. And so it was great because both of our wives were very happy that we were not in the house.
So you had something
so
to
we
do.
would go into our garages, do our thing for 4 hours, and then
Yep.
she'd be like, "Oh, that was a nice break.
Yep.
We got a break from you."
I was very lucky that I was working on a Netflix show during the pandemic. So it was like something, I was like, okay, all this shit's happening. I have to focus on the work at the same time.
Right as things were shutting down is when it was going.
Yeah. Our room was open a week. The Wednesday, the second week of our room, it was the day that the NBA canceled the season, which to me was the day the shutdown began. Because that was, people were like, what? That was
I remember. Yeah.
That was the moment where it felt like, oh, there is a meteor coming. There is an asteroid coming.
And that's when people went, and that's when Tiger King, the rise of Tiger King, the rise of Squid Game, and the rise of Yellowstone.
We memory hold it so thoroughly. Sometimes I'm like, I do just want to remember that happened. It kind of ruined. I was happy to be working, but it did kind of ruin my house for me, because I spent so much time working there. It collapsed the boundary. I know people love remote work, but it's good to leave your house. It does help to separate your life out, to be when you're home, you're home.
It's good to walk out and not be in fear of seeing a person 20 feet away.
That's true. That's more important. Yeah.
These invisible walls that were all put up.
Yep.
Unless you lived in Georgia, where I was working.
You were working in Georgia at the time.
Well, yeah, I remember we were working and we were trying to come back, and and then there was 70 positive cases in one day. And we were like, well, all right.
Jesus.
It's all different.
Did you shoot not COVID with COVID protocols at all?
Yeah. We shot Stargirl in Georgia, which was saved me from not losing my mind. It was great.
Yeah.
And I was very thankful for that job and for that show. And
yeah,
I know that Sam loved it.
I was
no response from Sam.
I was wondering if you're talking about me, Sam.
Stargirl. What are you talking
love
about?
Stargirl.
Brett Bassinger.
I was thinking about what I was doing
show.
during COVID.
It was Jeff Johns. He's amazing.
It was such. I remember being on those sets and being like, I'm very glad to be working. It feels so precarious.
Yeah,
I feel like anybody could get sick at any moment, and it's like you're doing all these things to keep yourself safe. And will we be able to?
And the protocols, man. The amount of money made on protocols. Where's all the folks that were? What happened to remember all the? Different stations and all.
I interviewed a guy on the podcast that year. He was the second person we interviewed about COVID, and he had he had written a lot of press because he had previously been a guy who stopped diseases from traveling in cattle farms.
Oh.
He figured out how to stop animal diseases in factory farms. Wow. And so then when COVID spread, he was like, well, I know how to do this because this is what I do. And had him on the show, and he gave a great explanation. And then after the camera stopped rolling, he was like, yeah, so I'm going to start working at Hollywood. And then we ended up hiring him on the G Word on the Netflix show to be the guy to design our COVID protocols, which he did for us and a lot of other shows as well. And that was the way that I felt. I told Netflix, I was like, I will feel safe if you hire this specific guy I interviewed who I know has the expertise.
Now, you're not saying he was like, I want to be a dancer. It wasn't that. He was just like, I would like to move to Hollywood.
This is how he fulfilled his Hollywood dream. Imagine how many people working in the cattle industry.
Okay. Yeah.
If I have my chance.
But he still had to artificially inseminate the same way. Shoulder deep in a cow. Just right up. It's still shocking that I want to know the first farmer that figured out how to inseminate a cow. Just, when you see the guys with the full arm in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at that. Look at that. Somebody did that first.
Do you feel like working in this business, a lot of people talk about like 2019 being the last peak year that things were, everything was like going up. It was like broadcast cable, then streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was sort of the moment of the peak. And COVID was like this big wrench in it. Did that feel like an inflection point that like brought it to the sort of weird scrambled place it is today, or would it have happened anyway?
Not for me, because I think in 2015, when Community had thank you. No,
I love Community. I love Community.
Yeah.
How many times
Sam's acknowledging that he's seen Community. Yeah.
I want you to check in with me every show that you've been on.
So you're going to see a lot. When that stopped and The Soup was canceled, after 12 years, silence.
Literally half of my intro is about The Soup, okay?
This tumbleweed rockets past us. No, just because so that I was like, oh, I had been working, like I got on the Soup train starting in 2005 and I was like, then I got Community and things were going well. And and then it all stopped at once. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And then like the stand-up shows, the crowds got smaller. And I'm like, oh, this is, I see. It just doesn't keep going up. It's, this is your first, like you're on a surfboard and you crash.
Was that the first time in your whole career that happened? You felt like you went down?
Where I had worked so hard just to get jobs from 2000 to 2004 or 5-ish.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I can just get a job, if I can just get and then finally it worked.
Yeah.
And then it was like this good run. And I'm like, oh, this is how it works.
Yeah.
You get on this, you finally get on this tightrope and you can be on it for a long time. And then you're like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, oh, this is not the same as it was. I did a sitcom in 2016 on CBS that went one season and was over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting shots. And these are, believe me, guys, it's gone well. Believe me. I'm not saying there's people.
What was the sitcom? Did Sam see it?
No.
What was the sitcom?
The Great Indoors.
Did you see this, Sam?
No, I didn't. Stephen Fry and me and Chris Mintz-Plasse.
Wow.
Susanna Fielding.
That's a great
line. It was a great cast.
Yeah.
And Sean Brown, Deborah Baker Jr., and Christine Coe. See what I did? So anyway, it was, so that's when I experienced that. When COVID hit, that was a different feeling. I was just like, oh, nothing's ever going to happen again.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, so that didn't have the same sort of impact. I mean, it had a much more anxious impact as I had 2 kids that were in grade school, and that was no fun because it was a whole new world every day with Zoom PE, where I would just like, get out, you can't doing Zoom PE.
It was like
silence this.
So it was like interruption after interruption. Folks, there's a lot of scams out there. I'm always getting scam emails that tell me I've signed up for a security service I never have, and they've billed me, hundreds of dollars. I need to call the number to reverse the charges. I know if I call that number, that person is going to ask for my credit card number and then bill my credit card number. There's also, I'm getting random texts from people that are constantly asking me to send them money in whatever form. Ooh, and recently I tried to sell something on Craigslist and someone tried to pay via check and they said, oh, no, we'll only pick up the thing once the money has hit your account. You know that they're going to use all of the security holes in the check writing process to take the money back after it has supposedly hit my account. That's an age-old scam. It's been a big problem for a long time, right? Well, check this out. When you get the Cash App card, not only do you get access to a ton of perks and benefits like exclusive early access to nationwide concert presales or discounts on popular brands, but you also have extra security with the power to instantly lock or unlock your card right from your phone in just one tap. That helps save you from a whole lot of those scams that are out there. If a suspicious transaction pops up on your card, Cash App has your back by automatically declining the purchase and sending you to a heads up to confirm if it's you or not. So behind the scenes, you can rest assured knowing your account balance is protected by 24/7 fraud monitoring. Spend with peace of mind today and order a Cash App card in the app or at cash.app/card. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. I forget if I've ever told this story on the show. Around that time, I had, I'd done the cable show. We were starting to work on the Netflix show, but I got an offer to host a kids game show on Nickelodeon. I grew up watching kids game shows on Nickelodeon. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
I think they had somebody else who dropped out because they were like, we want you and we need you to fly to England in 3 weeks. So I'm like, whoever bailed from this gig, thank you very much. I flew, and it was shot in England because it was a British show called The Crystal Maze. They had a standing set in Bristol, UK. So they flew me and these American families out there. And it was so much fun. I was the maze master and I had an elaborate outfit. I kind of looked like when I saw Alan Cummings in The Traitors. I'm like, that's what I was doing. I was doing elaborate, Phantom of the Opera, Willy Wonka-esque
That's cool.
outfits. It was really fun. Running around obstacle courses. Welcome to the Crystal Maze. Today, you were a series of challenges. You will win 25,000, super fun. Had a blast doing it. Seemed to do pretty good on Nickelodeon. I'm back in LA. I run into a guy at the Improv. I'm doing stand-up. He's like, hey, just so you know, I was working on the Crystal Maze. I'm like, I work in the music department. And did you know that this is one of those shows where they ordered 10, but the next contract is for 100? Like, you know how sometimes it'll be structured that way? It's like, if they pick up anything after the first 10, they have to pick up 100 at once. He was like, and it seems like it's doing pretty good. They're like doing casting announcements for the second season. I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to be a game show host like this, which is the best. I mean, you're a game show host.
Yes.
One of the best gigs
of all
in television.
Yep.
Like Drew Carey, happiest man in the world.
It's a great gig.
Work a couple weeks a year. You're the king of the castle, right? Shoot 5 shows a day, make a lot of money, do whatever else you want with your time. I was like, this is great. And all that happened, the show aired and I had that conversation in February of 2020. And and one of my first thoughts when the shutdown happened is I was like, that's over, because no one had to tell me it was over. Because by the time we come out of this and they're ready to fly American families to the UK again, they will be on their 3rd round of executives at Nickelodeon who will have been fired. And
you're right.
The revolving door, they're going to be thinking about something else. They have the attention span of a flea. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, because that was untenable. Yeah. There's just no way because the cost of the show would have gone up, would have quintupled. Yeah. And the whole point of shooting in the UK is it's cheap. They don't have getting everybody. But, and was there ever a conversation a couple of years later where they were like, hey, I think my reps probably reached out, but it was like, they're on to the next thing, Yeah. And the saddest part is a couple years later, then they canceled the UK version because I think they needed 2 versions of the show running to justify the cost of the set. So Richard Ayoade was the host in the UK, which was, you can imagine how good that was. And they did that for like 3-4 years. And Richard Ayoade, if anybody go look that guy up, because he is he's incredible. He's very famous in England. Oh yeah. But almost as famous as I am in America. Well, I would give him a little more credit. Yes, a lot more credit. A lot more credit. I did a sitcom pilot with him. Oh, really? Yeah, I did the American version of the IT Crowd, which which he was in. So it was we got picked up and then canceled before we ever made it on air. Yeah. But like the experience of working with him, I was like, this is some of the best line reads in the history of sitcoms were his on that show. When he's like, he's holding something that's on fire and he's like, I think I'll put that with the other fire. And he's like sorting the fire in the room. Amazing. His dad was, I've now known him since 2005. And his dad was, this is us having a real conversation. Like him and I were talking because I knew his dad was sick. And I was like, hey, how's your dad? And he's like, not great. He's dead.
Well, first of all, it's an incredible impression.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew not great. He's dead. Kind of sounded like an Australian.
I mean, do you feel like there's any kind of broken promise or something that of the entertainment industry? Because, like I said, you were working so hard.
Yeah.
And so was I. I was very lucky to have watched basic cable growing up and then be on basic cable, right?
Yeah.
But now, like after COVID, I was like, oh, the kind of thing that I built a career doing, like the entertainment companies simply do not make. Like a show like my old show, or like The Soup, or if I wanted to do like a political talk show or anything, they're just like, no, we just don't make that.
Yeah.
Like it's here on the podcast. That's where it happens.
Yeah.
And it's been this way in which, this town used to be like, hey, if you put the work in, you can work in all these different jobs. As you have, you've been an actor, you've been a game show host, you've been a talk show host, etc.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Sam, what the fuck?
Actor, talk show host, yeah. But like it's shrunk down to like a shell of what it was.
Yeah, I think it evolved, and with the rise of streaming and the rise of podcasts and the rise of phones and the accessibility like that, I think it's all changed. And so, I think there's more content obviously than ever.
Yeah,
there's more out there than you can ever consume. And at the same time, it seems like there's not as much. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But like you look at like how huge and influential podcasts have been in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And if you had said to me, like when Chris Hardwick started Nerdist, I remember him having to explain it to me. And I'm like, you're what? And he's like, no, we just record you. And I'm like, and you do where is it? It's a radio show? Like I couldn't, that was the first time, I think it was 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then it like the kids today, they take for granted that you could like just having an iPod was a revelation over a Walkman.
Yep.
Like it couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and then downloading music onto it, and then you had then we sounded like every old man who talked about cable television. We were like, 100 channels, nothing to watch, and I feel like that's what I was like. Well, what are you gonna do with 1,000 songs? And you couldn't, and so the rate at which technology jumped, and I always kind of have to go back to that cable thing when cable television came in, and you had people like Elvira doing a show who no one even realized how gigantic it was, but it was like, it's somewhere out there. Yeah. In like ESPN is like, we have a satellite truck. We can broadcast sports 10 hours a day. And people are like, why would we want that? Why would we want that? And they had John Forsythe doing the original commercial. If you've ever seen it, I've
never seen it.
It's incredible. And Chris Berman, of course, it was a part of it then as well. So I kind of go like, when did because now with AI being everyone afraid, and I was like, is this just the same fear? It's just this a different rendition of the fear that like when VHS tapes came in, people are like, well, that's the end of movies. We're never going to be in a movie theater again. You can just go to a store and get any movie you want, watch it anytime you want, and stop it. What is happening? That is the old, I was like, is that what I have become? Is that, and it was like, I'm trying to avoid that.
There's that fear, and I'm definitely that guy too. I'm like, I turned 40 a couple of years ago. You start going, you stop saying to new inventions, oh great, and you start saying to new inventions, oh no, right. Around your 40s. You're like, wait, hold on a second. I like the iPod and the iPhone, but the iBrain, I don't know about this or whatever the new thing is. AI
especially right now is
But also nobody likes AI. Nobody's excited about it. Like I was just in San Francisco, which is where they build.
Pitt, Tom Cruise fight was pretty good. I was like, look
that wasn't even fucking. AI.
I was like, why is everyone so scared? It was fine.
It was fine, and it was also done using a lot of traditional VFX work, and like it was not a one sentence prompt.
Yeah.
It was like done more complicatedly. But I was in San Francisco, and which is like the home of AI, and I'm like, "Do you guys like AI?" And the whole crowd goes, "Boo!" And of course, it's my crowd, but
Right.
you know, still, like it's so hard to find people who actually like it.
It is this big unknown, scary ball right now, and I'm always like, well, it's just I have to treat it like this is just like anything. It's like this is in my brain. It's like steam power coming in when people are like, well, what about the sales? Well, we're burning coal and we're using this. We're going to take this thing and put there's going to be a lot of steam, and then it's going to push the ship anywhere we want anytime. I don't know. And that's how I try to look at it, like, all right, because it doesn't seem like the kids are that nervous about it the way that older people are. That's why I keep going back to the VHS thing. And I could be completely wrong.
I mean, there's so much animosity towards it, you know?
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it is when people, remember when like CGI was invented and it was like, oh, we can have computer imagery in movies.
Right.
And it was like, whoa, this movie has like CGI. Cool.
Yeah.
When people talk about AI, it means shitty. They're like, oh, it looks like AI. Oh, that was done with AI. They mean it looks bad.
Right.
They mean they don't like it. It looks cheap. And I think that's something that like that industry is not taking seriously, that like in just casual speech, that's how people mean it.
They go like, it's AI.
Like think about how like a rapper might use the word AI. Would they use it to mean like if they're like, you're AI, are they giving you a compliment or are they saying you're like phony? You know what I mean? Like,
right now. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I did whenever people are like, well, it's going to write all the scripts. And,
no, it's not.
And then I look at the scripts that it writes and I would be like, well, still hasn't written a great joke yet.
Yeah.
It still kind of looks like, somebody from Sweden tried to write a comedy script who in a language they don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Swedes. You just shots fired. But it still seems like it's not a language that it can speak yet. So I'm like, all right, I think we'll be okay.
I mean, AI scripts are like, jokes in AI scripts are like, well, that just happened, which is, there's a lot of Hollywood scripts that are like that too, but we know they're bad.
And I also this guy said a thing back in the 90s. He was just like, look, he was giving a lecture about art. He was like, 90% of all art is just not great and 10% is great.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, yeah, that's right now.
Yeah.
And all the time where all these, a million shows come out, a million movies come out, and only a few of them. And every once in a freaking real blue moon is a hit.
Yeah.
A hit is near impossible to make. So I'm like, if it can just make everything a hit, then I'll be completely wrong. Then great, it all worked. But I don't know.
I doubt it.
Anything to replace Sam is what I say.
Please help me. Yeah.
This is the most Sam's ever been involved in the show.
Stop talking about me like this.
I think you might have been inducted into the show. Sam.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Joel.
Well, look, in terms of stuff not trying to be an old man about it, right? But I do feel like what has changed, the business structure has changed so much in this industry where Hollywood as an industry, as like a pretty locally centralized community of creative people and capitalists working together to make, expensive high art or in low art, but like, shit that you're going to put some money behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not publishing where you just give some dude $5,000 and see if he can write a novel and see if anybody sells it. It's like, no, we're going to put money into this. We're going to hire hot people. We're going to like make some explosions or whatever. That seems to be crumbling.
But hasn't it? I feel like
good
that
pushback
stopped in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think when
we've been coasting.
I think
since.
when United Artists went down. I mean, we're going way back before Sam's grandparents met. Because you look at something like F1.
Yeah.
Or one battle after another. Like you look at I was like, like F1 looks like it cost $2 billion.
Yeah.
It might have cost $1 billion. So I agree with what you're saying. The business has changed, but they're still going for it with big swings at time. Like
But they used to do 20 movies like that a year, and now it's like you watch one battle after another, and you're like, oh, finally a movie. You know, like at least I got one this year. And Sinners, those are like the two sort of big movies. A lot of people saw them that put a lot of money there. Art in addition to being entertainment.
I mean, Avatar was
sure.
Yeah. I mean, those are, F1 again. So I think it became like album oriented rock in the 70s where it's like, the business went, oh, we're going to make so much, like when the Beatles and Rolling Stones and those guys all came in, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, this is how rock and roll is going to be. We can do this with the Eagles and Elton John, and then we will ride this disco thing, and we will take advantage of it, and we are going to sell a zillion records like that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, punk comes in and goes, oh yeah, we're the Sex Pistols are going to have, and like once these hits come along and you're like, oh, right, they undermined the whole thing.
Sam doesn't get any of these references. He has no idea what you're talking about.
You're right.
But at least they were still selling. They were still selling pieces of vinyl. You know, like the structure of the business was the same. Let me put it this way. I'm not trying to get you to agree with my premise or argue with me about it.
How dare you?
What I'm curious about is you talked about that period where 5-10 years. You're trying to get put the work together. You're trying to like build a career.
Yeah.
You're a hot young funny man in Los Angeles, and you're trying to make it like so many others are. And then you do, right? And then okay, here comes the work, and like you built the career. Is that something that you think is possible, or would in the Hollywood of today, or would you have to do it completely differently? Because that's what I'm not sure about.
I think like you look at someone like Mr. Beast, who's could not be bigger, right?
Sure.
He's one of the biggest artists on the planet. And so because he took advantage of the technology to go like, oh, I'm going to figure this out. Or like Matt Rife, who like, he's like everyone's like, oh, he's a TikTok comic. And I'm like, well, yeah, because everyone's on TikTok, and he figured out how to put jokes on it, and it worked. And so I think it's just different. I think if you had said to me back in 2004, as the soup was just starting, and it was this as rinky dink as it could be. Yeah, it was this. Your camera right here and microphone. You have 2 more microphones than we had.
Right.
And I was like, oh well, I guess Greg Kinnear did this, and I'm gonna try and do it. It seems so low, like just the lowest of the budget. It was the lowest of the budget. It was so cheap to put on the air, and was put on at 10 o'clock on a Friday, which doesn't make any sense to Sam at all. But it was put in a desert. And so I think 10 years before, I think people would have been like, well, that's not how a traditional talk show goes.
Cable was totally that sort of pirate ship, like super cheap, like let's throw it up and see what happens kind of thing.
And there was the Writers Guild was not involved with cable at that point.
Yeah.
And there was no writers on The Soup. There was no writers on any show. They were all producers. And so that all changed. But so I think the traditional way is probably gone. I mean, no one's but that doesn't mean that people are consuming media more than we ever could on a level which is hard to even wrap your brain around. I can't wrap my brain around it. Like when we get on airplanes now, where's the fucking Wi-Fi?
Where's the 30 movies?
Yeah, what am I going to do with my time? And I would rather have the bathroom go out on this thing than not have Wi-Fi. And so the things now that are just so taken for granted, that we are in this middle of this incredible information age, that my kids, like, they don't even think about, like, we're going to watch this, whatever it is, like some movie on their iPad, and this is now 10 years old, but like they just mirror it on the television, or they just have, and it's all so. yes, the technology has changed and the business has changed, but it doesn't change the fact that the big companies are making so much money.
Yeah.
And so that's when I get like, when people are like, well, there's no work in LA. I'm like, oh, you're right. And there should be. These huge companies are printing money still,
Yes.
and they're all LA based.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, well, everything went to New Zealand. I mean, a lot of stuff is shot there, but like, it's not like the profits are down.
Yeah. Yeah, they're making a ton of money. It's just the people in the town who like used to make the stuff are like, we haven't worked, you know. And what's crazy
and
is
they're the most skilled at it. You know? But then you look at what Georgia did, which 20 years ago, now 25 years ago, and they're like, oh, you can shoot here and we're not going to charge tax.
Yeah.
And that model worked. Same thing in Vancouver in Canada. And obviously the exchange rate really helped.
You know, going on the internet is like trekking through a big field of snow. No matter what you do, you end up leaving big honking footprints everywhere you go. All kinds of your personal data, including email addresses, phone numbers, names of relatives, all of it exists out there on the internet, just waiting to be grabbed by anyone looking to exploit you. And that is why I simply have to recommend Delete Me, a service I've been using for years and actually truly believe in. Right now, as I speak, there are people out there who make a living just off of trading your personal info. They are called data brokers, and they are pawning off names, addresses, and other personal info to anyone who is willing to cough up the cash. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that sounds like something you'd really rather not be a part of, so you really need to check out Delete Me. Their teams of experts diligently hunt down your personal info, remove it from the internet, and keep it gone, keeping you and your loved ones safe from bad actors. And as the world gets more wired, there has been an uptick in online harassment, identity theft, and even real-life stalking, all because of this easily accessible information. So why take the risk? You, your family, and your loved ones deserve to feel safe from this kind of invasion of privacy. So check out Delete Me, not just for your security, but for your friends and family too. You can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Adam and use promo code Adam at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/Adam, promo code Adam. You know, car shopping shouldn't be a game of 20 questions. Is this the right price? Am I making the right choice? But with Car Gurus, you don't have to question yourself. Car Gurus has the most inventory, transparent deal ratings, and real-time price drop alerts. Plus, with Car Gurus app, you can access dealership mode, which gives you everything you need to navigate the dealership with confidence. With Car Gurus Discover, you can skip the filters and describe what you're looking for in your own words. Simply type what you want, and Car Gurus Discover instantly surfaces real listings that match your exact needs. Dealership on the Car Gurus app puts you in control. You can compare cars side by side, check pricing, and estimate your final cost so you can navigate the dealership with confidence. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com, cargurus.com. I think a lot of it was the, LA, like the city and the state not realizing that, like, our lunch was being eaten, right? That like, oh, well, we have this natural geographic monopoly that like nobody can really fuck with. And so, all right, these other places can do a tax write-off. They have to do that because they're not LA, but it worked so well, and but also the business became less, the biggest streamer is YouTube. You can make YouTube anywhere. It became less, became less geographically, necessary to be here. But
because how many jobs, like most of my jobs are all, shot somewhere else.
Yeah. Where do they shoot the game show?
We shoot, the 1% Club in Georgia.
Yeah.
And, at Trillith, which is beautiful, great, really great crew. We shoot Crime Scene Kitchen in Toronto. And also just tremendous people. And then we shoot Animal Control in Vancouver. And we shoot House of Villains in Van Nuys. So that, like, shooting that, and I was like, oh, that's, get to see my family and all that.
That's great.
These are also, high class. Like, these are good problems to have.
Yeah.
But it's it's crazy how.
Well, what's shocking to me is we shot Adam Ruins everything around LA, in the 30-mile zone.
And that was 10 years ago?
10 years ago, yeah, about when we started it. Yep. First season, 2015, so a little over 10 years ago. Every day, different location, scrappy little crew. One of the only reasons we were able to was because we were the show was so cheaply made that we were at some budget level that meant they didn't feel they had to outsource it. But I was talking to getting lunch with my old EPs, and I was like, they never would have let us shoot that here today.
No.
No, it would have been impossible. And it was we had every UCB comedian on to do one speaking line. It was that kind of show. Let's all get together and make a show, everybody.
Yeah.
Using all the talent at our disposal. It's something you can only make right here.
Yeah. Unless you flew that UCB person out for that one line.
Can't do that. That is part of what makes me like the Pit so much. Is the Pit is the level of talent in every single department on that show. Costumes, prosthetics, camera work,
set design.
Yep. And they're doing 16 episodes in a season or some large number of episodes. It's you can only do that here. You can't fly all those people somewhere else.
Yeah. And it shows you that it works still. The system still works.
Yeah.
And if California can get, those, it was $750 million, just keep doing that. Just keep putting money in. And it'll hopefully reel us down. I mean, obviously, there's no lack of studios around here.
Yeah.
There's no lack of space.
But do you think that something I think about a lot is that even though the companies are still printing money, something that we don't talk about enough is that they've abandoned so much of what television used to be. They used to all do food shows and lifestyle shows and talk shows and morning shows and, news shows, right? And they're literally cutting back on news now. And people are still watching all those things, just watching it on YouTube. They're watching it here, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing it right now with no budget. It's just Sam. And he hasn't been paid in weeks.
Good.
Because not enough people are supporting on Patreon. No,
well,
Sam,
he has been so rude off camera that I'm glad about that.
I'll just keep my mouth shut.
But I think it all changed.
It all changed.
It all migrated to news. Obviously, so many people are getting their news now just from. They pull up their phone and then they go to their whichever news app they're getting their news from, and
But part of the result is
that's why I like
less journalists.
Ground news so much. Ground news. It aggregates, compiles all the stories and lets you know who I am.
We'd love them to re-up and buy some more ads. We have been in the past, and you know what? We'd love more of your business here, Ground News. So
what happened to where did they came out of nowhere?
Yeah. I mean, they're a news aggregator. It's and they.
I subscribe.
Yeah, it's a great website, and they just, I guess they decided on a marketing campaign where they would just flood the zone of political online media with ads, and it worked. They created incredible brand recognition very quickly, and very happy to have them.
They were reads. They were direct reads always every time.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so I think
that's how you got your start, right? That's my point. Is in that kind of content, right?
Yes.
And being paid by the companies to make it. And I do think there's something lost where. You're working on The Soup. Next year, you're working on sitcoms. Right now, that job would be, you wouldn't move to LA to do that job, right? You'd be like, well, I live here in Nashville, but I'll just start making fun of the reality shows with my camera in my house. And you'd have no connection to a bigger company or a broader commute. There's nobody trying to make you famous. There's no agent saying, oh, what's your next job? It's the system's broken. And I'm not trying to be an old guy about it, but I think it's not remarked upon enough that everything except high-end narrative scripted is has gone to YouTube, and the Paramounts and Warner Brothers have just stopped making it.
Yeah, it's changed. I wonder if I was the age I was now trying to do a show like The Soup. Yes, I would. My guess is it would be, as you said, you can just do it with the camera.
Yeah,
and that's that. Yeah, it seems insane, but it's what the. I got a kid in high school and just out of high school, and they're in these film classes, and they'll show me things they do. I'm like, that's pretty good. It looks good. It's well shot. The fucking sound is great.
Yeah.
It's well, like there's not a, I was like, whoever mixed the sound was good. And it's like, it looks good. And I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah. So what's our conclusion?
I don't know. I just want to talk to you about this because I feel like I've gone through this transition of like, hey, look, it's great. I'm making a living and having a good time. And, I get to tour and I get to do everything else,
Yeah.
But I think part of it is because I was such a beneficiary of the old system.
Yes.
I watched cable. I got to pitch a show to cable. They bought the show. I was not famous. I was a writer at a website who had made 4 episodes of Adam Ruins Everything as web series, and which had gotten a bunch of views, and we pitched it. And they were like, we like the pitch. Some executives were like, we think that would be a good idea. We think our audience would watch it. And they put money behind it. And then they put money behind making me famous. They were like, okay, this is the host of the show. Let's put his face on billboards, And so I went, like there was one, the year the show came out, they bought every surface in Grand Central subway station in New York and put my face on it. I was like, I have friends who are going to like walk, like it was kind of embarrassing almost. But like they did that.
How you did it.
And 10 years later, people come to my stand-up shows and they're like, I used to watch you in middle school. I'm like, yeah, because the company made you do that, right? And so I was such a beneficiary of that. I feel like you were.
And it's funny that you started out as a web series.
Yes.
I mean, you literally started out as and then, but you also had a hit,
yes.
Right? So you had, think about all the shows that have been in Grand Central. They're all like, oh,
true.
This, I'm supposed to watch this. And then it's just, it's gone.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to think of an example. It's so sad because I can't even think of one. But you think about like ironically, you backed into it in a very modern way.
That's true.
And then it also so hard to make a hit. You got a bona fide hit. And that is the most difficult, I think. So that no matter what things are, which technology is going where, because there is a zillion shows on Netflix and Paramount Plus and and Hulu that have died.
Yeah.
And then once in a while, you get a Stranger Things or a Squid Game or like a Masked Singer, and it pays for everything.
Yeah. But they, I think that maybe it felt like before they were more invested in making the shows hits, right? Like True TV had like 6 shows on the air, and they're like, this is one of them, so we better make it work. We're gonna like we got 100 people working for the network all trying to put this together, right? And when you make a show for Netflix now, unless you're one of the top ones, probably the Duffer Brothers feel this way, we got all the backup, right?
Yeah.
But like now it's a lot more, well, make the show and we'll throw it on the algorithm, see what happens, And then YouTube, of course, is that to the nth degree.
Would you say like, because you remember the days of when pilot season would hit and there'd be 25 pilots?
I got here like right after that or towards the tail end. But I'm aware of it.
I think the year that Community was on, there was like 25 pilots for NBC, and it was not just I guess I'm counter arguing. But like they had obviously the networks had so much money, and they were like, we can choose from whatever we want. We can make all of these things. And I remember it being like, oh, you got a pilot. Wow, way to go. You made the pilot. Great. Oh, and so now you got to wait to see if it gets picked up. And then so many times it didn't. And now that's all gone.
Yeah, true. You make the thing and you just put it up.
Yeah. Like for Animal Control on Fox.
You gonna watch
Animal Control on Fox? Thursday. Next day on Hulu. Now on Netflix. There was only one comedy they made that year, and that was that. Yeah. And I was like, well, that does save money. That saves a ton of money from this huge thing, this huge monster of how many pilots get made and stuff. Like I was just saying, like the IT crowd, we made the pilot. We were casting the season, and they're like, oh yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
We decided to go with a different one. New president. I got like a lion coming in and killing all the offspring of the lion before him.
But do you feel at all that like, sometimes I feel like we're not making new movie stars, like when
right.
like the movie stars of the 90s are still so much more famous than Jacob Elordi. Like Jacob Elordi's famous, but like Tom Cruise is different, right? Conan O'Brien is different. You know, Conan O'Brien walks down the street and it's like magnetic.
Yeah.
And you know, Adam Friedland is great. I love the guy, but he's not, you know what I mean? It's like not the same universality. And so you being in this day and age, right?
But if you're,
the old system,
if you're Taylor Swift,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess she was part of the old system as well. I would try, like, I also think it's hard to, yes, those guys like the Tom Cruises, the Brad Pitts, the like Denzel Washingtons, the people that have like from the old system and have been able to get to this. So they are in a mega famous, rare air.
It's like, we're not making those anymore.
But the kids,
mm-hmm.
they do see those people as like, oh yeah, we'll go. They're just so rare.
Yes.
And they crossed over somehow. Just like Back to the Future is one of my kids' favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that came out 35 years ago.
Yep.
And I was like, why this and not, I don't know, 16 Candles, same writer. And they're like, huh? And, you know, it is different. So I think they're making movie stars. We might just not know it yet. I think the kids know who these stars are. And I mean, Mr. Beast is probably one of the most famous people on the planet. I mean, he's not in movies, but he's
like an entrepreneur, you know, he's like a billionaire type. He's like a business guy almost more than he is even a performer. And that's sort of what you have to be.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, true.
Like, put it together, man. I don't know, someone like Chris Stapleton seems like that guy.
Yeah,
that guy can fill he can fill SoFi 5 nights in a row if he wants. Or like Shane Gillis just sold out the Eagles Stadium. So I think it's just an evolving. But I feel like they did the same thing with movie stars where they were like, this is our guy. And then they get 2 or 3 shots and then they're like, oh, that's it.
100%.
And they're like, what the fuck? And they tried it with, they try it with everybody who's in some, I don't know, Hunger Games or Twilight or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're going to try with all these guys.
Yeah.
And then it either works or,
yeah, there's just a point at which, that guy doesn't get to make movies anymore because he had 2 flops in a row.
Right.
So he doesn't, you don't see him on the posters anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take it out of old man business complaint hour. I don't want to.
What did you think, Sam?
I mean, about the industry?
Yeah.
How do you think I ended up in podcasting? I had to stop being a set dresser because there was no.
Wow, Sam, if you were to move to Georgia or Toronto or Vancouver, could you be a full-time set dresser?
I have friends that have done that.
I mean, other than all the criminal charges against you.
Well, that's it.
But
they're out of the country.
They moved and are working.
Some are, but I think it's a similar struggle just because also the business style has changed just because of what you're saying about YouTube and streaming. Like it is just different everywhere as well. But you can buy a house in Atlanta for a lot cheaper than you can here. You can live a lot. The cost of living, even though I think just in every urban setting, prices are going up. So I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm just hanging on here and I love living here too as well. So I'd love to see the industry come back in a different way.
This is your last day.
It also really, you've been like engineering this show for a while. It really makes things come together for me to know that you're a set dresser. I actually did not realize that. I'm like looking at you. I'm like, that guy is a set dresser.
I look like one.
I can see that guy unloading a box truck.
I'm happy to not be breaking my back. I have to tell you that much.
But I so miss I miss working with. My favorite thing about being on set was working with 100 different people, all of whom has a different job description. And no one could imagine doing anyone else's job in a million years.
Yeah.
Like the guy holding the boom mic, I would say, Danny, thank you. Like most days, because he's standing there with it over his head, just listening to me talk, and listen. Oh, there's a little thing. We got to go again. I'm like, I would kill myself if I had to do that for more than 2 days. I don't have the brain for it. I don't have the upper body strength. And every job is like that. And that's what you need to make a TV show. And to
make it all come together.
It's a rare thing. It was a very special thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
You're a part of it in a couple of, I'm sure I will be again at some point. I'm just, I hope it doesn't go away entirely.
It's not.
Okay.
I think it's just evolving.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's all those things are needed. They have not been replaced. Yes, you can make a YouTube video of somebody opening a box of Lego and that will get 50 million hits.
That sounds great. Can we watch that right now?
Yeah. My kids watched a ton of those growing up, but I'm like, oh yeah, this is, but they also love, I was like, we were just watching Sinners. And I was like, this is a piece of, as you were like, but it's a masterpiece, right? Yeah. It's this, like every detail is like, this could not happen you can't fucking just throw this together.
Yep.
And clearly, Michael B. Jordan, I feel like that's a star that like they were like, I think this guy's a movie star. And he is.
Yep. And Coogler is like, who's going to be able to keep getting money to make art house blockbusters 20 years from now, like Paul Thomas Anderson? It'll be Coogler, right? Because he's proven it. His stuff is so good. And I love that he does the thing where he's like, I love this new trend where they release it in 5 different film formats. And then he's doing a video going like, here's what IMAX 70 millimeter is. And it's only playing in like 6 theaters. And then people are talking about like, I got to go see Sinners. And that's, I think, really good to like draw people in. Let me ask you about also your fucking self.
I would say like the length of movies, I think I think there was a time when they were like, you got to make I don't want any of my time wasted on anything because I'm so impatient about everything. But I was like, the way that they have allowed movies to kind of now once again being like, this thing's 3.5 hours long. Great. If I'm well entertained for 3.5 hours, incredible. I'm on board. That's going like old Kubrick style. I'm like, great. Yeah. Anyway, that was a tangent. And I think, thank God for the Marvel movies when they're like, oh yeah, Endgame, 3 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. 2 movies. Great. I like when Kill Bill where they were like, we got so much stuff. Well, let's just make it 2 movies. Yeah, let's all get paid twice. Great. All right.
I wanted to ask, like the stuff that you first became famous for, The Soup and Community. You are very famously like the avatar of snark in both of these, or
we're pretty similar.
I hate to say the word snark. You're right. That's true. There's an edge. There's an edge to it, right? And when I met you, the thing that really jumped out, I was like, this is like one of the sweetest men I've ever met. You don't feel that way? Did you feel any disjuncture between, distance between yourself and that style of comedy, which was very popular at the time, and you were like, it did such a great job of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As did you.
Thank you.
I feel that it was a more heightened version because I would be more, and I was also very concerned about the jokes, but it was definitely me going, everything is stupid except for this small part. And saying stupid is not the best word because our rule at the Soup was we can't call anything stupid and we can't call anything crazy because then that's just everything. And so that's that. So I guess it goes back to my 90-10 rule, which was TV sucks, but isn't it great? And, and also there was such great TV back then that it was I would say that was the open frontier of reality shows that I got very lucky that they shows where publicists now would just be gang tackling their clients and holding them down and not allowing them to do like being Bobby Brown. Like you cannot just film yourself doing this. And that was the Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown show. God rest her soul. And but you can't do that. It doesn't happen that way. So I think I love making fun of stuff. We were trying hard not to be mean. We were always trying to be like, let's let the clips hang themselves and then we will comment about it. And then with Community, I got that because Dan Harmon's girlfriend at the time, she was like, that's the guy that's your lawyer guy. He was commenting on everything, and that's how that came together. So
from watching The Soup and being like, that's kind of what Winger is doing in the context of Community, is commenting on everybody else.
Yeah. And
wow.
So that's how it came together. And that was another one of those things where there's a zillion pilots. Somehow we got chosen.
Yeah.
And I remember a TV critic going like, hey, you're off to a good start. Let's even get out of your first season. And I remember going like, good God, we got on the air. How do we get out of our first season? And he's like, yeah, let's see if you don't get canceled during the season.
I mean, getting to the second season, like Sam Rice, who runs Dropout now and ran College Humor at the time when we got the second season of Avon Ruins Everything, he was like, you know how rare it is to get like the second season. Like that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
The pilot is hard. The first season is, okay, you got a first season. Actually getting picked up again and not being forgotten is the thing that almost never happens.
Yeah. That's why with like Animal Control in the post world of linear TV only having those choices, get like Fox just going, I don't know, we like the show, we're going to keep it on. We like it. And, and it has did the thing that, you know, like the Seinfeld or the Cheers did, where they were like, oh, no, we're going to hang in there because we like it. And now it's working. And so I was like, oh, so I'm very thankful that we hung in there. And like, it didn't happen with The Great Indoors with Stephen Fry, Christmas Blast. I'm just going to name the whole cast again. That it was one season. Obviously the age-old story of like, if you could have seen our ratings, they would have, you know, through the roof, and didn't make it. And they were like, if you can hold a fourth of Big Bang Theory's rating, you'll be the biggest hit in 10 years. And I'll be like, what? And it didn't happen. And so anyway, it's, what am I saying? This is my very long answer about myself, but in conclusion, I never want to go back.
I'd be remiss.
Isn't it weird though? Like I always go like, we're doing a thing that we chose to do. Like I was like, there are so many people out there that don't get to do the thing that they set out to do.
Yes.
I can't believe. So whenever I'm complaining or where I'm like, I'm really tired, I'm like, fucking someone's put a makeup on your face and you're doing your hair and then you're going to go tell jokes on camera. I was like, what a wonderful world.
You're able to find that joy in it. Because sometimes I'll go through like a whole year and I'll forget to, you know, and a joke, a sort of gallows humor joke that I have done before is, you know, people say, oh, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I'm like, that's not true. If you do what you love, it makes you hate the thing you love. If you want to hate comedy, do comedy for a living. That's how I feel sometimes. And that's when I'm being a bad comic. That's when like my shows are going poorly. If I'm on the road and I'm like, I wish I fucking wasn't going on stage tonight.
Well, going on the road is a lot.
Yes, it is.
And that's how when I'm out, like it's hard to, like, I know exactly what you're talking, where I'm like, I wish I could be at home and see the family. And I was like, but this is how this is the profession that I chose. And I'm so lucky that I'm getting to work in. And I was like, I have to keep that always in mind. Yeah. And I don't know when it's going to run out. Yeah. That's how I still have that same thing. And when I was like a 17-year-old where I was like, this is all gonna, like that thing where you always feel like you're being chased by a boogeyman, like this is your last job and it's never going to happen again. But then you go like your worst stand-up show of the there are people there that like, fucking can't believe I'm seeing Adam. Like this is so great.
Yeah.
And and you forget about that you're like a professional surfer. Mm-hmm. Is gonna like, if they're like, oh, fucking the wave sucked today. Yeah. And they're like, no, you're doing something that is, you're a magician out there with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's true. And I again feel so lucky that I grew up watching cable, got to make a show on cable, because sometimes people come to the show and they're like, I used to watch you growing up. And I'm like, oh, they have the same relationship to me that I had to like Tom Lennon, like Michael Ian Black, or like Jon Stewart, or like you, quite frankly, you know, like someone whose work I watched and I was like, oh, I love this show. I'd be remiss if I didn't say it was weirdly, it took a long time after, it wasn't until a couple years after making Adam Ruins Everything that I realized how influential Community was on the making of that show.
Oh.
Because I didn't realize it until I went on Harmontown towards the last couple of years. And the day that I went on, Harmon, before I showed up, watched some episodes of Adam Ruins Everything for the first time. And when I showed up, he was like, it was a very big deal for me. He was very complimentary about the show. He specifically complimented stuff that like nobody else does, like that we had done like storylines mixed with the facts, and that the storyline that the information went through matched the storyline that the characters went through. So like the emotional, intellectual conclusion lined up. And it was always like a writer's compliment, right? But as he was describing this, I'm like, oh yeah, Community season 2 was like so deeply influenced. That's why this means a lot to me, because that whole thing of you're being chased and this might be your last moment, like it sort of felt like Community season 2 is a little bit of a response to that feeling of we're going to throw in everything we can possibly do. Every episode, how do we top ourselves? Every episode, how do we surprise? Every episode, how do we do something that the audience doesn't expect again? You know,
Yeah.
You want every jump to be a triple axel. And that was the same ethos we went into Adam Ruins Everything with, was like, just how much more can we cram in?
Yeah.
It was and like watching it now, when I went back and watched a couple episodes of Community last week, it's like, I don't want to say they don't make them like that anymore, because I'm trying to not be an old man about it, but it was like, it's really some of the pinnacle of television making.
It was, wow.
How did it feel to be a part of it? Let me maybe give you a question.
It was one of those things where we knew it was good, and we knew it was funny, and we knew it was good. We knew Dan was a genius. We knew all that.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a hard show to make, because we weren't making like so many documentary style shows out there that we were making a movie every week, and the ratings were okay.
Yeah.
And so every, as I said before, like we were always just about to get canceled.
Yeah.
And they would always be like, hey, can this be the season and series finale? Season 2, they did that. They were doing it and then eventually they did cancel it.
Yeah.
And then thank God for Yahoo Screen, which then we got them canceled. And the entire
Yahoo Screen?
The last 2 seasons were on Yahoo Screen.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was Yahoo Screen. It was the last. They were the last. I mean, it was the last moment that they were this huge, powerful, gigantic company.
Yeah.
That then it kind of. It all tumbled and became T-Mobile, I think. But they literally
one of the biggest failure stories in like web history, like how that happened, because they were as big as Google or anything else.
They were huge. We went to their campus.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, they had like a cricket pitch, and like next to that was a purple bar serving purple beer, because that was their but that Community, I need to, like, I know how lucky I was to be on there, but I need to appreciate, because it's become more like even more like, I think the pandemic actually, that's when it started getting passed around, and Netflix was showing it, and
damn, I had a bump then.
That thing, it really, and we also, when we went to Comic-Con, we realized how many people were loving it the same way. I think I think Depeche Mode does like a really good job of writing songs that make you feel like they're only talking to you. And like Enjoy the Silence or something like that, where you're like, oh, this is a popular thing, and everyone thinks they were like, they get a little piece of it. And I was like, that was just, very, it's so cool. Like I was with Donald and Danny, and we're like, God dang, Donald pointed out, and he's like, that thing really was special. And I was like, yeah, it really was. And so lucky to have been on it. Like to this day, like I remember like the hours were so fucking crazy. Every Saturday was a Fraturday. We'd work till 6 or 7 in the morning, and then I would go home, have a glass of wine and a steak while my son woke up. And then the other son would get up and like, Daddy's going to go to bed. I'll see you in 4 hours. But I remember just going like, this is so special what we're doing. And I think as the the world got more and more fantastic, that we knew we were like, oh, we're doing something different. This is great.
Yes.
And then, anyway, that was long. That was, I'm so glad it's prescient. And I just want to point out, I used the word prescient.
Yeah,
thank you.
That was big for you. That's a big word.
I'd like to use the word demography at some point as well.
Demography.
I just don't think, or contiguous. Thank you.
Contiguous is going to be a lot easier than demography. The field of studying populations of humans,
yes,
but not demographics. You're talking about demography,
right?
Like you need to meet a professor of demography,
right? So I feel like it's the only time it gets used. And then when you
do you want me to find a professor of demography? They can come on the show and then you can join me.
Or when I hear people say contiguous, everyone just blinks for a second because that's what I did. I'm like, I gotta look this up. It sounds like continuous, but it's got a G in it.
And they mean the same thing. The fuck?
No.
Sort of.
Right. Contiguous means, because I was like, I'm gonna look this up. It means they're touching.
Yeah. Continuous means the same thing unending. Contiguous is two things
like
that are touching.
Borders touching.
Something that's contiguous is almost indistinguishable from something that's continuous, except there's a little seam.
There's a little
seam
of them. We have a contiguous border with Mexico.
I'm trying to figure out how to
but nobody uses it until because people probably go like, yeah.
I'm trying to think of
just throw that shit out there.
Is there a way to emotionally connect that idea of contiguousness to what we've been talking about and say contiguousness, much like we were saying earlier, but I can't find it.
Well,
to bring us for a landing.
All right, watch this. Well, the soup and community were contiguous, but our shows weren't because they weren't.
Yours and mine, yeah.
They weren't touching each other. It doesn't work at all. Fuck. It's like the way I hate the word synergy. And when that started getting used, I was like, can we just say energy? Or it's, I mean, I was like, I'm not saying synergy. I feel like it was everywhere. Like in this town, it was like center. You can really feel the synergy.
Yeah.
And that's what made me want to grab a baseball bat and just.
You know, people use that now as video games. Oh, yeah, those two powers. Yeah, they have synergy. They're synergized. That's useless.
Do they really?
Yeah. Those two. Yeah. That combo. It's got synergy. You know what I'm talking about, Sam?
No. See.
All right.
But that's not what is it? It's the military term when like all like the weapon systems are connected.
Oh, I don't know.
Like you're like, oh, the planes are talking to the missile systems,
right? That
are talking to the satellite, and they're.
Are you trying to Google that?
Yeah, good. But I don't know if it's a word. I think it may be two words. Missile command.
I don't think this is a word. I think you're trying to coin something.
Oh,
I don't think it's a particular word.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasted a lot of time talking.
Well, it's been such a thrill to have you on the show. Well, now we're friends, man. Right? Yeah, now we're friends.
Sorry, Sam.
That's okay.
But yeah, I've always been you're always been. When I finally got to meet you, I was like, oh, as you're saying, like, oh, he's a nice man. He's a nice man. He's not a weirdo. You know, you see sometimes you meet people. Oh, yeah. You're like, whenever people are like, oh, never meet your heroes, I'm like, meet all your heroes. It's just that one or two of them are going to be awful. Yeah. And then everybody else is pretty great.
I also think it's like, I'm so glad I'm a nice person because it's like a disability, I think, to be an asshole. Yeah. And, you know, like somebody who, you know, like everyone likes this such and such a, you know, actor or personality. And then the story comes out about how they were like so shitty to, you know, a service worker somewhere, or they did something unconscionable and like, you know, oh, now their career's ruined or they had some big hit from that. And I'm like, oh, thank God I wouldn't do that because I'm a nice person. Yeah. Like I won't suffer this embarrassment, you know?
There is not a single story that I've ever, I was like, if you don't hear a story about anybody, they're probably pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, or
you don't got to cover anything up if there's nothing to cover up, you know?
Yeah. That's I remember Michael Keaton being interviewed after like the second Batman. And they were like, how come you're never in the tabloids? And he was like, well, pretty boring. I just want to raise my kids. And I was like, yeah, Great. That's a good model. Good model.
Yeah, you don't have to go apologize on a late night show for raising your kids.
Yeah. Fuck, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to do something bad, you can come by here and apologize for it anytime you want, man.
All right. What am I going to apologize for? I'm sorry to the number of shoe companies that have fucked me over for not having size 14s. See what I did?
This is your toxic trait now. You're blaming the companies.
I blame, the man.
All right.
I've wasted your time.
Thanks so much for being here,
11:52, guys. We're doing great. Okay, good. My mom and dad are feeling better. They both have the flu. So, all right. Isn't it sad? You put your phone down for a fucking hour.
I know. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
My God, thank you once again to Joel for coming on the show. If you want to support this show and all the conversations we bring you, patreon.com/Adam Conover. $5 a month, you get every episode of the show ad-free. $15 a month, I'll read your name or silly username in the credits of the show. This week, we got Yuri Lowenthal, Lee Riggs, Fakhridin Ibragimov, Troy Stifler, and thanks for a great show at Punchline SF. Thanks for a great show at Punchline SF. If you want me to read your name or silly username at the end of the show, head to patreon.com/Adam Conover. $15 a month or $5 a month or $1 a month. We'd love to have you support us at whatever number you're able to. I want to thank my producers. Real quick, Sacramento, California, La Jolla, Hartford, Connecticut, the Den Theater, April 18th. Kansas City, Missouri, head to adamconover.net. I want to thank my producers, Tony Wilson and Sam Roudman, everybody here at HeadGum for making the show possible. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on Factually.
That was a HeadGum podcast.